So today I'd like to talk about a couple of things. One is a kind of transition which I thought should have happened in Japan a number of years ago, but has never taken place. And it's slowly, step by step, taking place right now. And that is from raw cards to graded cards. Now, the changes I've seen is in the high-end market. There are a couple of shops that do this. And one of them's been in the market for like 3 or 4 years. And the other one is just kind of like jumped into Akihabara like about 8 or 7 months ago. 7 or 8 months ago. And even so, these shops only have about 15 to 20% of their product which is in graded cards, and it's 100%, as I can see, PSA. This is a massive change for the Japanese market. I mean, on like Mercari or sort of like eBay or Yahoo auctions, there was always like about 1 or 2% of the market which was graded cards. You go back 5 years ago, it wasn't there, but over the 5 years it's kind of creeped into the market. But now we would say we're up to about 3 or 4% of the market. And if you put all of the graded cards in, I would say maybe we could get close to maybe 6 or 7% of the market. But you have to imagine how big the market here is in Japan for like TCG products. It's pretty huge. I mean, the population is 126 million people, and it's the people who follow, the people who are jumping on the bandwagon of buying and selling, is pretty huge over especially the last 4 or 5 years. So if you compare that to say somewhere like Germany that has a population of like 70 something million people, or the UK which is like also somewhere along the same lines, then I might be out of date on those numbers because I've been in Japan a long time, but I feel that's where they are for population wise. And then if you think about that, then the Japanese market has a lot of clout behind it, because especially how much people are willing to pay for cards here, but they have never gone down the grading route because it hasn't been available. But for example, my understanding is PSA opened an office in Japan in 2023 in August. So that's around coming up to about 7 months ago. And then there's a couple of other card grading companies moving in Japan for 2024, and that's PSA in country grading as I understand it. So I think things will shift very quickly. So what does that mean for the market? I think it's good, and I think it's really bad. It's good in the respect that you can sell cards easier once they're graded, and it's bad because if you think about all of the cards sitting in people's closets and bedrooms and wherever, all of these cards are going to get graded, and the population of some of these like promo cards and whatever will just skyrocket, and the prices will come down, in my opinion. So I would say that as this momentum builds up, and I think Japan will be very slow and then extremely fast, because that's how things work here in Japan. Nobody does anything. Some people do something, and then everybody does it. So it's the same for every single thing that happens here in Japan. So I would say it might be slow for another year and a half, and then after that I think it will speed up really, really fast. So if you have like Japanese promos and stuff like that, and they're graded, I don't know, man. It might be the optimal window is the next couple of years, and then after that the market might get flooded, man. I mean, for example, Kanazawa Pikachu, I have 192 of those. I walked into the Pokemon Center, 5 Pokemon Centers every day with my family for a week, and we just cleaned up. those are free of charge. They were just handing out like candy, right? But those cards are selling for raw about like 5,000, 6,000 yen. You grade them, you get a PSA 10, it's about $250. But let's think about everybody who's got like a 30 or 40 of them sitting in their closet decides to, hey, let's just submit to PSA. No, that population is going to go boom, right? So it's a really, really interesting time, and I think that there are some really good opportunities with having PSA grading in Japan, as I understand it. But at the same time, I think that some of the cards might take a dive in 3 or 4 years from now. But saying that, the plus thing that will become behind that is the 30th anniversary of Pokemon, so these things might stable out. Who knows? But it's an interesting topic. I would really, really like to hear from everybody about what they think about that. And do you think that a massive influx of graded cards from Japan, if the Japanese market really, really got behind grading, would be a good thing for the market or a bad thing for the market? Drop a comment, send me a DM. Love to hear from everybody. Bye from Tokyo.